Welcome back to another episode of Triple Coverage Podcast, man. I am your host, Ray. And I got my two co-hosts with me today. I got the best producer in the land, got my dog Bubble in the building. And
It's
then I
good.
got Eastern Illinois' very own. I got my dog Gully with us today. Fellas, how y'all feeling?
Let's pod. Let's
Man,
pod.
ready
Let's
to work.
pod.
Ready to work.
I'm already knowing. All right. Spurs tied up 2-2 last night. Um, does this change y'all outlook on who will win the series?
Take it, Gully.
Nah, not really. Because at the end of the day, I kind of felt like the Spurs would edge them out just a little bit, um, to get the Western Conference Finals. At the end of the day, I just think it's a different matchup for OKC. Like I said, I know we keep on talking about Wemby and everything that he has to offer out there, but he just affects the game in just so many different ways, man. Primarily the defensive end, and similar to what I said, our last little podcast, like OKC, they're an inside the arc type scoring team. Do they get points in bunches from their bench? Of course. Do they have some snipers on their bench? Of course. But at the end of the day, their best player, Shea, reigning MVP, this is a guy that creates most of his shots, inside the arc. So just having Wemby, having that presence, San Antonio having a lot of different wings that can mix and match, defend multiple positions and everything. I just think it's hard for OKC right now. So them winning last night, it doesn't change how I feel. Like I said, having everybody come back, somewhat healthy, regaining strength. I think that's a good thing for San Antonio. But I think as the series progresses, I think they'll kind of pull away and hopefully close this thing out in 6, man. So we'll see how it go.
Bubba?
Yep. For me, I always said I kind of agreed with you, Ray, a couple episodes ago, where you said it'll come down to their bench play because the superstars and the role players that start gonna get theirs. OKC bench had 35 points. The game before that, they had 70 plus. They benched this entire series. They bench had kind of been being the shoulders and the Achilles of those games that they was winning. They bench didn't play well. It's cliche to say, but if they bench don't play well, they typically not even in the game. Wemby gonna be Wemby. Castle fixed his turnover problem. Last game he kind of fixed it just a little bit, but this game was a little bit better. The Spurs didn't turn the ball over as much. That's winning basketball, and that's how you play. They just got out to great starts. Like every quarter that was starting, they was getting out to a great start. Then they'll kind of let OKC come back. OKC make the adjustments, come out playing faster, but they just couldn't keep up with the Spurs, man. I still call it Spurs in 7. They needed this game. If not, OKC would have won easy going back home. Shea gotta be more efficient, bro. He gotta find a way to be more efficient. He's taking good shots, and the Spurs and I get it though because the Spurs kind of changed their defense up a little bit. Like the first 2 games, Wemby was down there under the rim, and he was just being a presence, just being a nuisance down there. They figured out that didn't work, so now they start bringing Wemby up more, not top of the 3, but kind of like up towards the elbow, lined up, kind of adjacent with the free throw line. It's him coming up. He's kind of like he's slowing them down from getting to the bucket just a little bit faster, and I think that affected Shea game just a little bit last game. So be expecting to see another adjustment from OKC going into game 5.
Yeah, and shit, basically, where I feel like the Thunder kind of done lost their momentum is like you said, Bubba. The reason they lost yesterday was they bench didn't perform. It's the bench didn't perform on top of Shea really not having a good playoff series altogether. Like this series, Shea is shooting under 40%. Shea during the season shoots damn near 55, almost 60% during the regular season. Like he's so efficient during the regular season, and him not being able to carry that into the playoffs against the Spurs, and also him not having his Robin with him, whether it's Chet or Jalen Williams, like him not having that on top of your bench not performing how they performed the previous 3 games, like I think that's kind of where they losing the momentum at. And the Spurs kind of fixing their turnover problem. Last game they only had 12 turnovers when before they were damn near having 20 turnovers per game. And I kind of think that's where that's kind of where they losing themselves at. And I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of changing my outlook on the entire series. I was going with the Thunder, but now I'm gonna change it up because 4 games in, I'm not seeing Shea getting no help other than from the bench kind of rescuing him. So I'm kind of gonna switch over my take, and I'm gonna take the Spurs this series.
Yeah, that's valid.
But like I said, it's still tied up 2-2, so we'll see. But who y'all think? And I think we all assume that the Knicks are going to advance to the finals. Who y'all think give the Knicks like a tougher matchup?
Spurs. Gotta be Spurs.
Easily.
Just that presence with Wemby.
Just like you said, just having Wemby out there, they can affect multiple shots, multiple angles around the rim. Just their defensive prowess. Offensively, like I said, they got 3 guys that can handle the ball. I know, guys, what's his face? We were just talking about 2. What's his name? Castle, yeah.
For
he don't fix the turnover problem just a little bit, but like I said, just having 3 ball handlers. I know he's been up and down with it, but I'm still confident he can still get the job done and command the offense. But just having him, those 2 and the rookie, like that's just a luxury to have in the NBA. Just having shot creators, playmakers, people that can spread the ball, people that can set up the offense. I think that'll just, for one, cause matchup problems somewhat for the New York Knicks, just because, like I said, they loaded at wing. You know, they used to chasing around these bigger guards, bigger wings, this and that. Like those small guards that can get up and down the court, man, that can, like I said, make for others. Like they like nuisances, you know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to see, but I think San Antonio by far probably creates a lot more matchup problems for New York than OKC probably would, especially with Jalen Williams being out. You know, I think that's a big thing that's kind of skating under the rug. But yeah, if he don't come back, I don't really see OKC having a chance at all, honestly. Like that's your number 2, you know. So and then Chet, he done disappeared pretty much all series, man, out there playing scared. So like, yeah, for me it's San Antonio all the way, man. For real, honestly, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think so too. And then I ain't gonna lie, I think in the Knicks, if we do see a Knicks Spurs finals, I'm gonna be interested to see how Wemby and Cat go at it. Like I'm cause then you got who was they 5 that come off the bench, that's like the rebound and shot blocker? Is it McBride?
Robinson. Mitchell Robinson.
They come off the bench for the Knicks. Mitchell Robinson. I like the different I kind of like the different guys that you could throw at Wemby, like that the Knicks have. Like we already seen Chet and Hardenstein, just they haven't been able to get it done against Wemby just because simply Wemby is just more athletic than Chet, and it's like Chet damn near been ducking smoke, and Hardenstein just flat out can't keep up with Wemby. So I'd be interested to see 2 7-foot athletic bigs go at it in Wemby and Cat. And then, like I said, if you want to throw something different at him, you throw Mitchell Robinson at him just to bump him up a little bit. And then with Cat being a big body, I like to see how that go. And then just with all the other wings you got around, Josh Hart, OG, Mikal, like I think it'll just be a more they're more versatile to match up against the Spurs than the Thunder, like I said, because nobody else is showing up for the Thunder besides Shea. So I think it's just a better matchup, like all around. Yeah, but where I think the Spurs are better than the Knicks at is their bench. If you got Fox coming back, and you got Fox going back into the starting 5, and you got Dylan Harper running back to the bench, and you still got that heat coming off the bench with everybody that the Spurs got. So I think that's where they have that advantage at them, the advantage on them. But like I said, I'm interested to see the matchup.
Hey, don't forget about the GOAT now. Don't forget about the GOAT coming off the bench, Harrison Barnes.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta respect him, man. He NBA champ. I gotta respect him.
Man, watch
Hey,
out.
now though, I also think the Spurs ain't going. Wemby can't sit down there under the basket and just kind of roam around like a UAV. Like Cat gonna make you move. You got to play. Like you gonna have to follow Cat down there, bro. Wherever he go, you gonna have to go because he can put up buckets.
And I think he'll bump with you down there. He ain't gonna run from you like Chet catapult you up. Like that's not his go-to game. Like he kind of want to be the finesse big man, but he can get down there and get ugly. So I like I said, man, I like that matchup.
I will say like that experience for Wemby, every team that they have played in the playoffs, he kind of had to have a small challenge down there, just a little bit.
Yeah.
But outside of OKC, they really not challenging him at all. It's gonna be good. I think that's a good one to watch, bro. I don't want to see Knicks OKC, bro, because I think it's gonna turn into a bucket for bucket game. High scoring, both teams putting up 120 plus, just bucket for bucket. I don't want to see that. Like I just don't. I don't want to see that.
Yeah. But shit, man, that's that on that. We'll see what that's looking like. I want to say Knicks should close them out tonight, and then we got Spurs Thunder tomorrow. So we'll see what that's looking like. And we're gonna move on to a little NFL, man. Gully, will AJ Brown be an Eagle this season?
Absolutely not, man. I'm praying for my fellow Cowboys, man. I'm praying that for our sake, for sure. Hopefully he get up out there though. But no, I think the writing is on the wall for him to leave already. I think the trade is pretty much everything but finalized at this point. I think the only thing they waiting on is June 1st, the start of the new year and everything like that. But honestly, I think just missing AJ gives a different outlook for the Eagles. Of course, you're taking away a guy that's been, an all-pro, been to the Pro Bowl several different years, team leader, and literally number one receiver. So anytime you get easily a 80-plus catch guy, 1,200-plus yard guy, anytime you get a guy like that walking out of the door, man, it's definitely gonna hurt the offense-wise. But I think them going out, drafting a receiver high, being able to try to at least fill that somewhat. I think the Eagles probably be back on track, honestly. But like I said, just having 1,000-plus yards walk out of the door, that's gonna hurt anybody. But it'll be interesting to see if he does end up going to the Patriots. It'll be interesting to see how he just gels and connects. Being that they have a young quarterback in Drake May, I know he had a really good year last year, but I know they have other pieces as well, pieces that they brought in. Like you said the other day, they just paid Romeo Doubs. Pretty sure he doesn't want to come in and just, take a back seat as well. He earned that money for sure. But, at the end of the day, I think A.J. Brown leaving the Eagles, it's a good and a bad thing because I think at this point it's kind of mutual on both sides. Both of them just looking for a fresh start. So, like I said, for my Cowboys' sake, man, we clapping. We clapping for joy right now.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Like you said, the writing's on the wall with him kind of having a relationship with Vrabel and him already being in talks going to the Patriots. I think it's either Patriots or nothing because, like we said, we don't know exactly what all the Eagles are asking for, and I don't know if it's so many teams just willing to give up first-round picks with the draft being so stacked over the next couple of years. Like, are you willing to give up your first-round picks for how do we say it was 29? Are you willing to give up like 2-3 first-round picks and maybe some players, and you still got to pay him on top of that? Are you willing to give that up for AJ? I'm not saying he's not worth it. I just think, for me personally, I would rather take my chances in somebody young and maybe going to get like not saying he's AJ, but I know Nick Harbor is coming out. That's kind of like the next big freaky fast receiver that you got coming out of the draft. That's that you can kind of compare to AJ. Nick Harbor being like 6'3", 6'4", damn near 230, probably run a 4.3, 4.4. He hasn't lived up to his expectations at South Carolina because we know he was a fucking god on NCAA. But I think you just rather take your chances in the draft rather than giving up your draft picks and then having to pay him and then going to do something like that. So for me, I think it's Eagles or Patriots, and that's it. I don't think nobody else takes a chance on AJ this year.
Yeah. I think he'll go to the Patriots. I don't really think the Patriots want him. And if he do go to the Patriots, I don't think he is 1,000-yard receiver for the Patriots. Because because with the Eagles and them forcing him the ball, and Eagles was offensively to me a better team passing the ball than the Patriots. He barely cracked 1,000 yards with 1,003, and that's them forcing him the ball. Obviously, they had to split that with Smith, but I don't know, man. I just think we kind of, not we as a whole, but I think a lot of people around the league, GMs, whatever, they just, I don't know, they just look at AJ Brown as like a normal guy. You're not that monster. You're not that monster that you once was, only because of the other things that followed behind you. And it's like we know you can produce, but under what circumstances though?
Yeah.
If you're looking good on bad teams, do it matter? Do it matter? So with the Eagles, you look good. You look decent both years. You barely cracked 1,000 the years that you played with them. You got a Super Bowl. You complained about that. And it's like, so we've seen you at your best, but at your best, you're on bad teams. You don't play good on good teams. But that's your main catalyst for you not wanting to be on certain teams, because these good teams, bro, everybody's touching the ball. Everybody got to eat, fam. And I just don't know if he's willing to buy in, even if he go to the Patriots. That's why I don't think he'll be 1,000-yard receiver, because they just got a lot of weapons over there, and the moves that they making, it just don't entail. It don't look like it'll surround AJ Brown.
Yeah,
but he's not going to be.
Especially with you drafting Mekhi Lemon and then kind of expecting Saquon to get back to his 1-2 this year. I think they kind of gonna weed him out anyway. So we'll see how that's looking in the upcoming season. But speaking on signings though, who are y'all top free agents going into this season? Gully, I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah,
go first.
Say Gully, go ahead.
Woo, it's a lot. I know we kind of talked about this before we even started recording. Man, there's so much talent out there. So many different names, so many different difference makers, that's sitting out there, jobless right now. But I kind of broke it down in the simplest way that I could, honestly. I try to take from, kind of both sides of the ball. But my top free agent right now is L'Jarius Sneed. I just think from a standpoint, 2 years ago, we was looking at this guy like one of the top 3 corners in the league.
It's in order?
Honestly. Yeah. Number one. Sneed is my number one for sure. Because like I said, man, following that Super Bowl win with the Chiefs, man, it was so hard for us not to look at him, especially when he was jamming Tyreek up in the playoffs and this and that. Like, everybody was looking at him like a top 3 corner, in the league. He went, he left, got paid with Tennessee and everything. Didn't work out the first year, really, because a lot of injuries for sure. And then he had some off the field issues that was going on, man, and some allegations. He proved to be not guilty with that, put all those things behind him. So I know he's looking to sign to a team, but I think he could be a contributor right away. Like, he's a plug and play guy. Definitely reputable in the playoffs, so that's the guy that I definitely would take a swing on if I'm a team with needs in the secondary.
Mm-hmm.
Then my number two, I'm gonna go with Stephon Diggs, honestly. And this may be a bit of recency bias for me, honestly, but just looking at what he did last year, man, coming off injury, coming off all that turmoil with his previous team, being in the media headlines pretty much all offseason, honestly, pretty much all year, honestly, with everything he got going on. But to honestly, for one, come back from that rehab that fast, that significant of an injury, like, I think people don't really look in that perspective. We haven't seen
you got to throw that away.
I'm breaking up.
Nah, you good.
Nah, go.
Oh shit, I thought you was talking to me. My bad. But
no,
y'all want to start over? Keep going.
Keep going,
nigga.
Oh shit, but like I said, man, coming back from that ACL injury that fast, honestly, like, that's some stuff we ain't really seen since somebody like AP, honestly, and then come back to true form, putting up 1,000 yards, man. I think that's amazing, honestly. And my third one would be. So I kind of battled myself on this, and this is more of a, like, a projection thing for me. But my number 3 would be Mekhi Becton, offensive lineman. He last played with the Chargers, former first round pick for the Jets. He was up and down with the Jets, dealt with a lot of different injuries, but everybody saw the potential. Everybody saw, who he could be. He finally left and went to Philadelphia. I don't think they gave him his 5th-year option, so I think he left in free agency, signed with the Eagles. Their Super Bowl year, was a starter pretty much every single game, and was a free agent Pro Bowl guy. He cashed that 1 year out, parlayed that into a big contract or a semi-big contract with the Chargers to go in and fill in and be a starter. Didn't have a hot year. I don't think nobody from the Chargers had a good year, honestly, because they was just decimated with injuries pretty much all year. But I still got faith in him that he'll still be a good piece. He's still young, still got a ball to be played, still got a lot of ball left in him, honestly. So I think he'll be a valuable piece for any team, that kind of needs a young guy, young swing tackle, or possibly even a starting tackle. And he has some experience playing guard as well. So a little versatile piece that I think, that's still sitting out there. The teams could probably use, but that's my top 3.
That ain't bad. That wasn't bad.
Go ahead, Bo.
Come on now.
Man, my number 1, I got Tyreek, bro. Obviously, he a problem for any defense. Potential landing spots for him. Any team that has 10 million plus. His average annual value right now, market wise, is set at 15 million. I don't think he get that. Do I think he's gonna ask for that or more? I think he'll try to if he can. Knowing Tyreek, he's gonna go after the money anyway. He took a pay cut.
I'm gonna say this though, not to cut you off. The Dolphins, I think they still set to pay him 16. So I think if they owe you 16, I think he'll take 10 from somebody.
Okay, see, I ain't know the Dolphins still owe him, but that was my range anyway. I think he's gonna take 10 to 12. I don't even think he's worth 15 plus, only because of he has no leverage in business talks when he's talking about getting paid. You coming off a ACL and ligament injury, you got the surgery. We ain't really seen you play since last year. Then you in the headlines for negativity. You got the silver dispute with the white IG model. You broke her leg. Yeah, you settled, but I think you lose leverage there too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, he a problem for any defense, fam. No doubt about that.
I don't even think he get 10,
spots,
honestly.
I ain't gonna. I could see something. Like I said,
I
could see him not getting 10, like almost. And like I said, not to cut in the middle of your take, but like I said, if the Dolphins owe you 16, you could almost do kind of like what Tua and Kyler Murray did. They getting paid so much money from their previous teams that let them go. They taking vet minimum almost like on a prove it deal. So if your team already owe you 16 and you coming off injury and all the legal issues that you got going on, you could take vet minimum almost like, I'm gonna prove myself that I'm still worth it this year. I'm gonna take the little 2, 3, 4 million or whatever that I'm gonna get, plus my 16 is damn near gonna put me somewhere around close to 20. I'll take a $20 million payroll this year and prove that I'm still worth what I'm worth. And then next year I'll go chase me another deal either with the same team or with a different team.
Yeah, and last year his average annual value was at 30. They cut that in half.
Mm-hmm.
You 32 years old, you coming off of an injury, and you got the legal dispute going on. I ain't even know they owed him 16. So I still think that he lost leverage there in talks. I don't even think he would have got the 15 if he would have went in asking for that, unless it was just a team that was desperate and really, really, really had the bread. But I think he want to go somewhere with a good quarterback now, because at this point, it's safe to say that he may be on the tail end of his career. Not saying his career is over or he's at the end, but coming off of that injury and 32 years old, sometimes that kind of begs the question, like, do he still got it? We ain't seen you play. We got to see that. My number 2 would be Joey Bosa. Joey Bosa had a good year last year. He played 500 plus snaps, I think. Had 5 forced fumbles, number 1 in the NFL in edge rushers. His average annual value for the market is, I think his shit set at let me see, 24 million. 24 million. I think he'll take 18 to 20. Couple teams got that. I think a great landing spot for him would be the Eagles. Eagles, they have edge rushers, but nowhere compared to Joey Bosa. Joey Bosa had more sacks than all of the edge rushers in Philly. He had more fumbles than the entire team of defensive linemen. And they got the money. They got the cap space. I say go ahead and do it. That's a contending team in a fairly easy division for you. In that division, you ain't got no mobile quarterbacks besides what Dart and Daniels, but Daniels coming off of an injury too. They probably gonna try to keep him in the pocket a little bit more unless he put on some weight. I ain't really seen much during much offseason talks about him. So that may be a good spot for you, bro.
Yeah.
And the Eagles possibly gonna win that division. So you setting yourself up for something great. No shot at the Cowboys, Gully. Don't know what I mean?
Them niggas out.
But yeah, Joey Bosa, my second one. And third would be Taylor Decker. Taylor Decker coming from the Lions, bro, gotta be studied. That was the dumbest move that they could have made, bro. That was a stupid move. Why would you let your number one offensive lineman, the left tackle, and Decker go, bro? He played 500 snaps. He gave up 2 sacks. He played 85% of the snaps. And the Detroit was the number 4 offense in the league. That's saying something. That means y'all was high power, bro, and not giving up no sacks, bro. Now, is he a bit expensive? He is expensive, bro. I think his shit is set at like $22 million. His annual average value is $22 million in the market right now. A good landing spot for him, I think, would be the Patriots. That'll be a perfect move for them. The Patriots was around 16th in the league in sacks last year. They gave up 48. I think that'll complete their entire O-line, picking him up. And they got the cap space. I think they got almost $40 million in cap space. They can go out there and get him. That's how I feel about him. But he's just a big expensive sim. It just depends on where he want to go, honestly. I think any team that got the cap space can pick him up.
Yeah. Shit. My list is damn near kind of similar to yours, except my number 3. My number 1 is also Tyreek. He only played in 4 games last year before he tore his ACL against the Jets in that game. But so his last full year was 2024. 2024, he had 1,100 all-purpose yards. Like you said, bro, he is a problem for any offense. For me, defense. I think, yeah, my bad. He's a problem for any defense. For me, I think, like I said, you take like almost like a vet minimum or just like a pay cut, just give him $5 million or whatever just to sign him. But for me, I think if you want to be a contender that needs one more piece offensive wise, I think maybe somebody like the Rams should go at him. The Rams got $27 million in cap space this year. You really wouldn't take too much of a hit if you go ahead and pay Tyreek. I think that'll be like a perfect matchup and a perfect weapon for McVay to deal with alongside Puka and Devontae. And then the tight end that they brought in last year in Ferguson to go along with the two-headed monster they got at running back. I think that's kind of like a good landing spot for him. And my number 2 is also Joey Bosa. Like I said, Joey Bosa is one of those guys. He's going into year 10, so he is a little bit older, turning 30, or he is 30. But he's one of those guys where you could either bring him in on third down or he could be a every down guy. And like they always say, like you can never have too many pass rushers on the field. So I think for me, my number 2 is Joey Bosa. And there's so many teams that could use Joey. The Cowboys could use him. Like you said, the Eagles could use him. They let go of Jalen Phillips. They let him go to the where the hell did Jalen Phillips go? The Panthers, I think. I think Jalen Phillips signed to the Panthers last year. Or this past offseason, he went to the Panthers. Let me see. Man, it's a bunch of teams who could use. Like I said, you can never have too many edge rushers. But Joey Bosa is my number 2. And my number 3 would be Deebo Samuel. He's going into year 8. And last year he had almost 900 all-purpose yards. And he's just another one of those like Swiss Army knife guys a lot of teams could use. It's a lot of teams that could use a Deebo Samuel. I know we could use him at the Texans. It's teams that just need to get over the hump. Like the Bills could use him. I know they brought in DJ Moore in the offseason, but other than DJ Moore, you run a 2, sometimes a fucking 3 tight end set to where you got really no fucking nobody to stretch the field. And he's not a speedy guy, but he's one of those guys like he reads coverages and he can get into the crease of the defense like super easy. So I could see him going to somebody like the Bills, the Texans.
Bills ain't got no money for him.
The Bills don't.
They cap space is at 10. Debo market valuation is at 15.7. I don't see him taking that cut. Now I think a team that can contend would be a good spot, probably the Ravens, Packers. And like you said, the Texans, I would always shoot for that. Shit, yeah, come on down to the H.
But that's the thing. I don't think any of these guys. You got to think though, they free agents and they late free agents. Like this, we getting closer and closer to the season. I don't see anybody on this list commanding anything over $10 million, honestly. Just because like it would be bad business for an NFL team to give 15 plus million to a guy 2 months before the season. Like that's a lot of money. That's a lot of cap room. Like I just don't I don't know.
But
I don't
thing,
see because
Gully,
a lot
if
of those
you
big
need it-
signings. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Gully.
Like a lot of those big signings, like you get the guys that's getting 10 million a year, 15, 20 million a year. Those are the guys that's getting signed in not January, February, but like late before the draft, after the draft, like weeks and weeks ago. Like I don't really see teams coming out of their pocket saving 15 million just to give to a guy that pretty much everybody done passed on up to this point. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't really see nobody commanding 15 million, especially Bosa at this stage in his career. I'm not saying he's not a difference maker, but it's not too many people in the league at that position that's making 15 million a year that's difference makers. You know what I'm saying? Let alone somebody
But
that's
Gully,
this
you
late
got
into free
leverage in
agency.
both. Like Bosa got leverage though. I'm number 1 in forced fumbles. I played 562 snaps in 15 games. That's leverage, fam. And a team that may need, if you need it, why get it? We ain't talking about tricking now. Now, I ain't talking now. If you a team that you just want to go trick off on the DN, cool. It's a conversation. But if you need it, it's like, fam, it's like wanting. Damn, I need a new motor for my car. I don't want to get it, but I need it though. Shit, nigga, go ahead and spend that bread. I ain't saying trick now. Don't go buy a whip if you already got one that's durable.
Yeah, for sure. I think he definitely.
And then also too, it's like we just had the draft. You're going through OTAs, so this is your first time getting a good look at what you have right now. I know we only in fucking warm-up clothes, shirts and shorts, but this is the first time you get to see guys actually go through full days of practice. So it's like a guy might be up here and then you take him through workouts and it's like, oh, this guy might not be able to move how we thought he could move, or X, Y, and Z. So now I guess we do have to go out and grab one of those free agents that we thought that we didn't need, that we might need now. And like I said, they got the leverage now because it's like, well, now you calling me at this point in the season, I know you need me, so I can ask for, not saying you just gonna, kind of shoot yourself in the foot asking for too much money, but I'm gonna ask for what I think I'm worth, and then we could work it out from there.
Yeah, and agents telling me, them niggas watching the cap, they watching the market. And they know what they up against. They know what teams got before they call. They know what teams need. Nigga, if we can look this information up, and I'm pretty sure they got more inside information. Teams know the same thing. And it's just, it's almost like a consumer business relationship, bro. I think everybody needs to make the moves that they gonna make to make both parties happy. I don't see a team just going out here doing some desperate shit, to be honest. Not the teams that got the cap space. Besides, I mean, maybe the Raiders, I can see them being desperate doing some shit like that, or the Jets, and Arizona maybe. Outside of that, all the other teams are pretty competent that got over $15 million in cap space. They pretty competent. So it's not even a lot of teams that these niggas could go to. And the team that got the number 1 cap space, which is the 49ers, they got $70 million in cap space. They can really grab most of these guys, like some of these big guys that we talking about. And they ain't even doing it. So, and we interested to see what they gonna do.
Yeah. But like I said, man, a couple more weeks till we get into the preseason. Well, We damn near got about June, July, August. Preseason starting about 2 months and some change. So we'll see what other updates we got coming into that. But to go into a little bit of college football, man, top 5 college football quarterbacks going into the 2026 season. Gully, I'm gonna let you start this one off. Who you got?
Yeah, man. So this is my quick top 5. Just leading us off right away. Have to throw my boy Dante Moore on there, number 1. I just pretty much just put him number 1, honestly, because I think he's going to be the Heisman front runner coming into next year. Was probably going to be a top 3, 4 pick in his previous draft this year, honestly. So I think it's a lot that scouts want to see out of him. I think just having another year in that system, in that offense, I think he's really poised. I think he has a lot of talent, honestly. So just seeing him put it all together, one more year of maturity, I think he'll do him a lot well, honestly. So it's kind of hard to go against him at this point. So I have him as my number 1 going into next year. Number 2, CJ Carr out of Notre Dame. I think he had an amazing freshman campaign last year. When I think of him, I just think of him in comp of Jared Goff, honestly. He reminds me of just a slightly more athletic Jared Goff. Really timely thrower. Has a lot of anticipatory skills. He honestly, I think he's a great leader. Being that young, being able to command the offense, for that prestige of a program like that, I think you got to tilt your hat to that. So I know he's high on a lot of scouts' boards. So it'll be cool to see how he continues to progress into year 2. And that's pretty much another Heisman hopeful for me as well. My number 3, and I think I'm going to be on an SEC run after this, but my number 3, Trinidad Chambliss, out of Ole Miss. Like I said, man, he's a kid, man. He's hard not to like, man. He has an amazing story, a humble story. Came from a D2 Ferris State, led them to a national championship. And how ballsy is it of him to pretty much say, you know what, I'm going to leave D2, Division II football, and go to the SEC, man, and try to compete for a starting job, man. And to be thrown in a fire like that, to lead your team to the college football playoffs, man, I just think he's amazing. Probably would have been a first-round quarterback had he went out this year. But we know the courts pretty much overruled everything, gave him a year of eligibility back. So it'll be cool. I think he's coming back with a vengeance, especially since head coach left. So it'll be cool seeing him, man. He's probably my favorite on the list, but I have him at number 3. Nah, I'll take that back. Let me take that lie back. He's not my favorite, but probably my second favorite. My favorite on the list, how could I forget? At number 4, I got my boy John Mateer out of Oklahoma. A dual threat quarterback, plays a lot bigger than what he is. I know he had some ups and downs last season, but honestly, bro, he's just a gamer to me, honestly. If I can think of any quarterback that's probably comparable to him, to me, honestly, is probably, I can see a lot of Baker in him, honestly. Like I said, not the biggest, not the strongest, not the most athletic, but he always finds a way to make a play. Honestly, I think his team rallies behind him. And like I said, man, I know he had a lot of ups and downs, especially towards the end of the year, but prior to his injury that he kind of dealt with pretty much the second half of the season, that first half, man, he was like first and second in the Heisman race. Like he was putting on a true clinic out there for Oklahoma, especially in league play, man. So I got full confidence that he'll go out and definitely do good this year and probably be a first round pick next year. But I think Oklahoma will make a lot of noise this year, mainly because of him. And last but not least, at number 5, this is more so on my projection for him. I think he's going to be great. Is Bryce Underwood. It's just kind of hard to deny just his physical traits, man. Has a cannon arm, processes things really well, athletic as all can be, great, amazing throwing motion. I just think he needs to be around a competent coach in a good system. We know all the things that went on with Michigan football last year, and unfortunately for him, it kind of derailed the team, man. So I'm looking forward to seeing him in his second year, being a sophomore, being at the helm of that offense, man, and making plays, man. So that's pretty much my top 5 right now.
That was cool. That was cool.
Bubba.
Come on now.
My number one, Jaden Mayava, big arm, athletic, over there with Lincoln Riley. We know what he do with quarterbacks. He can get little irate at times in the pocket. He can get sloppy at times. He's accurate though. 65% completion percentage. Once he fixed the forced throws and getting erratic in the pocket when the pocket gets shrinking on him, he's not a really good scrambler. I would like him to be a little bit better for his size. But I think he's my number one because I think he has the greatest upside out of this class that's coming out. Only because not only, but one of the main proponents to that is being under a Lincoln Riley. You know what I mean? We know what he do with quarterbacks and how he can transcend their game. Number two would be Trinidad Chambliss, 70% completion percentage, 500 pass attempts. He's just the only reason he's not my number one is because he's a little bit on the smaller side. 6'1", 200. That's a little bit tough when you look at somebody that's kind of like his comp, not his comp, but kind of like his comp, like a Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels 6'4", 215, and we see what the injuries do to him in the league. So I would want him to kind of add a little bit more size. But Trinidad is very athletic. He's accurate. His arm isn't that big, but with the right offensive mind, the right OC, right QB coach, the sky's the limit for that boy. Like, he can really ball. He can really play. Number three, Gunnar Stockton, Georgia. He's in the SEC as a starter. He went 12-2 last year, making it to the quarterfinals. He lost to Ole Miss 39-34. Played 6 ranked teams in the AP Top 25. Lost against Bama by 3 early on in the season. Came back and beat them later on in the season. In the SEC championship, again, he's 70% completion percentage. And this is a Georgia team that's not even known for having great or top talent at the receiver position. They are talented, but when we think of receivers all the time, we can only name a handful in the past decade that really came from there. So for him to do that with the team that he had, I think him going to the next level is going to be great. If he get the right pieces around him, he's going to be one of those quarterbacks that got a big arm and can win a few playoff games for you early on in his career. Number 4, I'm going to go Kevin Jennings. Again, he a little bit on the smaller side, small school, really ain't playing a lot of great competition, but when he do, he tends to play to that level or above his level of competition. Athletic, his arm could be a bit stronger for me. So at the next level, that may be a problem. He's 6 foot, really small. I don't really like small quarterbacks, not in this league now. He's efficient, but he's consistent with his efficiency. So he's around that 65, 64 range. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. For his size, that's pretty good. He beat a scary Miami team last year in overtime. And that goes to show you that like he can play with the best of them and produce for you. I don't see him as a first rounder, though. I see him second, maybe third at the latest, which that's not bad. So I think he got the potential to go to a good team and sit behind a good quarterback and then probably learn, develop, and then get out there year 2, 3, 4. I don't think he's a starter right away in the league. And then my number 5 is Drew Mestamaker. Played at UNT. He followed his head coach, Eric Morris, to Oklahoma State. As a freshman, he led FBS in passing yards, tied for second in touchdowns, only 9 interceptions, 70% completion percentage, 463 pass attempts, completed 319 of those. That's great. Some games he was throwing 85, 90% completion percentage. Very big arm, 6'5", went 7-1 in the conference, 12-2 record. He's going to be a beast at the next level, bro. I really see him transforming Oklahoma State and kind of making a name for them. I also see him, this may be a hot one, though. I could see him going first round. I could see him really going first round, bro. With the arm he got, his size, 6'4", 230, prototype. And he can really move well in the pocket. And he don't get erratic. He don't force throws. You could kind of say that's a tribute to the level of competition he was playing, but all you can do is go out there and ball and look good. So that'll be my top 5.
Yeah, that ain't bad. Man, my top 5, my number 1, I got Trinidad Chambliss out of Ole Miss. He went 11-2 last year. He lost to Miami in the Sugar Bowl. And then his other game he lost was Georgia during the regular season. But man, I like Trinidad a lot. He had over 4,500 total yards last year, and he only had 3 interceptions, 66% completion percentage. Only thing with him is I think his return and supporting cast won't be as strong last year as it will be going into this year. Only person he kind of got coming back that he kind of leaned on a lot was his running back, Keywan Lacey, a 1,500-yard rusher. But man, I like Trinidad. He's mobile. I got a good arm. He got the experience because he played D2. He played D2 for 3 years before he came over to Ole Miss, and then they just granted him a 5th-year eligibility. So, I mean, I think damn near out of anybody in the quarterback draft this year, I think he'll probably turn the most heads. The Trinidad is my number 1. My number 2 is Dante Moore out of Oregon. He went 13-2 last season. The 2 games he lost were both to Indiana, who were the champions. 3,500 yards, 30 touchdowns, 10 picks, 70% completion percentage. Good pocket passer. He doesn't run too much, but he can be mobile. He got a good arm. Like I said, I think the downfall was just he couldn't get over the hump with Indiana. Like I said, you lost to him 10-15 during the regular season, but then in the playoffs, they spanked y'all ass by 30, 32 points or something like that. But I like Dante Moore, just for the simple fact that I think he's going to go high because it was a kind of like a debate between him and Fernando Mendoza, who was going to be number 1. And I think as long as he just kind of, even if he has a plateau season where he doesn't get better than he was last year, I still think he's the first-round pick. My number 3 is C.J. Carr out of Notre Dame. As a freshman, he was 10-2, 2,700 passing yards, 24 touchdowns, 6 picks. Notre Dame was kind of finding themselves after they let go of what was his name? They head coach Freeman. I think they let him go the year that they made it to the Natty. So I think he still has a lot to learn, but like I said, man, I like him a lot. Big guy, good arm, makes smart throws, good decision maker. Like I said, not too mobile, but he can run, kind of like almost like a Ben Roethlisberger, if you wanna give a comparison. But I think he's more athletic and like I said, he kind of got that arm. Like we know Big Ben wasn't a mobile guy, but Big Ben found a way to get out the pocket and make plays when he had to on 3rd down and whenever he came into sack trouble and stuff like that. But CJ Carr is my number 3. My number 4 is Julian Sand. He's only a sophomore this year, but just as far as what he did for Ohio State, taking them as far as he took them, being a freshman last year, 3,600 passing yards, 32 touchdowns, 8 picks, 77% completion rate also. I think he'll be a good college quarterback. I think him being 6 foot, damn near 205 pounds or something like that, I think that just won't translate to the NFL so much, which a lot of Ohio State quarterbacks don't translate, as we've seen with what was his name? Barrett. And you had Braxton Miller, and who ended up eventually switching to receiver his senior year. You got C.J. Stroud, Justin Fields. Like I said, they just is besides C.J. Stroud's
Cardale
Jones, who got drafted to the Bills. Like besides C.J. Stroud's rookie year, Ohio State quarterbacks just don't pan out in the league, and I think he's kind of going to be the same way if he gets drafted. Just him being undersized, I just think that's his only flaw. But I think he's a good college quarterback. Yeah, I think he's a good college quarterback. Like I said, they went like I said, I think they also went like 11-2 or 12-2 or some shit like that. But they only 2 games. They lost their last 2 games of the season. You lost to Indiana in the Big Ten championship, and then you turn around and you lost to Miami in like the Cotton Bowl or something like that. But you lost your last 2 games you lost were to the teams that played in the Natty. So you beat one of those teams, y'all probably just completely switch spots in the Natty. We never know. But Julian Sand is my number 4. Like I say, he still has another year after this one before he can declare. So we'll see how that looks for him. But Julian Sand is my number 4. My number 5 is Josh Hoover out of TCU. He went 9-4 last year, 3,500 passing yards, 29 touchdowns. Now he does have a problem where he's one of those quarterbacks, like he's an air raid quarterback. He likes to gunsling all over the field, and he kind of puts himself into trouble a lot, and he has turnover issues. But I think that's just with TCU being TCU, trying to fight to keep his team in games a lot last year. I think that's kind of how he put the ball in harm's way, just trying to win the game for his team. And I think that's how he ended up being kind of on the downside of having a turnover problem. But he transferred to Indiana, and we seen what Indiana did with Fernando Mendoza. Fernando Mendoza came from Cal, went to Indiana. Signetti told him, you come here, we'll make you the best quarterback that you can be, and I can guarantee you'll be a top draft pick. And lo and behold, he was a first pick out of Indiana after leaving Cal. So I do like Josh Hoover. I think they got him around better coaches and a better system all around. So I got Josh Hoover at my number 5. And I'm going to put my honorable mention in there, Drew Messamaker out of North Texas, who transferred to Oklahoma State. He followed his coach. But like you said, 6'4", 215, the prototype type of guy. He took North Texas to a 12-2 record last year, passed for damn near 4,500 passing yards, 34 touchdowns, and only 9 picks. He scored 45 points 9 times last year. I think they were like one of the highest scoring teams in the FBS last year. And I just like him all around as a quarterback. His coach, they kind of have him as like the quarterback guru. I want to say he coached Pat Mahomes, Baker Mayfield, and it might have been like one other quarterback that he coached, but they kind of look at that coach as almost like a quarterback guru. I do think he'll make Oklahoma State a dark horse in the Big 12. Only other competition you got over there that's real competition is TCU and Baylor. And Baylor brought in Lagway, so they'll probably suck this year. And TCU lost Josh Hoover, who went to Indiana. That was my number 5 pick. But I do think he'll make Oklahoma State a dark horse. So y'all be on the lookout for him.
Ray, he Cam Ward. He had Cam Ward on his wing before, and John Mateer.
Oh,
John Mateer
Cam Ward and
is
John Mateer. My bad, Dan. Yeah, but just those two quarterbacks
and Pat Mahomes.
Okay. I knew it was either Pat Mahomes or Baker Mayfield or somebody like that. So, Oklahoma State coach had Cam Ward, John Mateer, and Pat Mahomes. You look at how all of those guys turn out. You got 2 first-round picks, and then you got John Mateer, who was a Heisman candidate before, like Gully said, before all of this injuries last year. Like, I do think he has good upside, but I think he's one of those guys, like, he tries to win the game, and like it's so much so much of the game is on him. He ends up turning the ball over, and then after, I think he ended up like breaking his finger or like having like some type of hand injury. I think that affected the second half of his season, as Gully said. But those are my top 5, man. Like I said, number 1, Trinidad. Number 2, Dante Moore. Number 3, CJ Carr. Number 4, Julian Sand. Number 5, Josh Hoover. And my honorable mention was Drew Messamaker. But those are our top 5 college football quarterbacks going into the 2026 season. But I think that's all we got for today, though, man. Y'all got anything else?
Nah, we good. We did. We got us one, man.
That's it. Just to give y'all a little breakdown on why we haven't dropped episodes. As y'all know,
don't start. No.
As y'all know, man, I got fresh out of Eastern Illinois. As y'all know, I got fresh out of Eastern Illinois, man. He probably has the worst Wi-Fi out of anybody we've known. So we do apologize for not dropping as frequent as we said we were. We're supposed to be on like episode 5, maybe 6. That's why we have so many clips out and not.
Man, you talking too much, giving them time. I don't need to know all that.
We're supposed to be on like episode 5 or 6 right now, but we do apologize for that. Hopefully we got that fixed on Gully's side, but we will try to get more episodes put out as frequently as we can. So we do apologize. But man, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, man. Go to YouTube, check out all our full episodes and all of our shorts. Be sure to follow us on Instagram as well. And that's all we got for today, man. We'll catch y'all next time.
Peace.